WWE has lost some of its biggest stars. But in these 7 cases, the full truth behind their deaths was never really shown to fans. These aren't just tragedies. They're stories where something felt missing, covered up, or quietly moved past. If you're new here, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We bring you everything happening in wrestling. Bray Wyatt's return in 2022 was one of the biggest WWE moments that year. He came back with a new version of his character, a new entrance, and a long-term story being built week by week. Then it all stopped. No match, no explanation, no update. He just disappeared from TV. For months, fans waited for a return. WWE never addressed it. The real reason? Bray had developed a serious heart condition, worsened by a previous COVID-19 infection. His health had declined enough that doctors told him to wear a defibrillator at all times. On August 24, 2023, Bray Wyatt, real name Wyndham Rotunda, died in his sleep at age 36. Reports confirmed it was a heart attack. His defibrillator was found in his car, not on him. WWE put out a statement. SmackDown opened with a 10-bell salute. There was a short tribute video. Then things went back to normal. No deep dive, no real on-screen talk about what had happened. His final storyline, which fans had waited months to see play out, was never mentioned again. Even the reason for his absence before his death was never talked about while he was alive. WWE kept everything quiet, controlled what was said, and didn't let fans in on how serious it was. His death came fast, and WWE moved on just as quickly. On May 23, 1999, Owen Hart fell to his death in the middle of a live WWE pay-per-view. He was just 34. That night, Owen was scheduled to perform as his comedic Blue Blazer character at Over the Edge. The idea was to lower him down from the rafters into the ring using a harness, a stunt meant to mock superhero entrances. It wasn't a safety rig. It was a quick-release clip used for sailing gear, not live suspensions. The release malfunctioned while Owen was over the ring. He fell 78 feet, landing chest first on the ropes, then hitting the mat. The camera cut away. Commentary was silent. Jim Ross, sitting at ringside, had no script. Paramedics rushed in on live television. WWE didn't stop the broadcast. The show continued. Owen was pronounced dead 33 minutes after the fall. WWE gave no tribute that night. Fans had just watched a man fall to his death, many not realizing it at first, and then watched the rest of the matches play out like it didn't happen. They aired a brief announcement from Jim Ross, confirmed the death live on the broadcast, and kept going. There was no statement of cancellation, no pause in the show, no second thought from the production truck. The following night, WWE dedicated Raw to Owen, with wrestlers breaking character and sharing stories. But that wasn't enough to undo what had happened. Owen's wife, Martha Hart, filed a wrongful death lawsuit. It revealed that WWE had chosen to use a less secure stunt rig to make the entrance look more comedic, and hadn't worked with the same stunt team they used for previous safer descents. The company settled out of court for $18 million, but Owen was never inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. His name was barely used after that. WWE stopped mentioning him altogether for years. There were no retrospectives, no annual tributes, and no apology on air for how the stunt went so wrong. To this day, Owen's death remains the darkest moment in WWE history. But the company's reaction, continuing the show, staying silent for years, and shifting attention away from what caused it, still makes it harder for fans to accept how it all played out. Brody Lee, known in WWE as Luke Harper, was one of the most underused talents of his generation. He was strong, believable, and respected by everyone he worked with. After years of being held back creatively in WWE, he left the company in 2020 and joined AEW. In AEW, he finally got the spotlight. As the leader of the Dark Order, Brody reinvented himself. He became a central figure on the show, and then he vanished. AEW fans noticed. No appearances, no mentions. The only statement was that he was out with a non-COVID medical issue. Nobody knew how serious it really was. On December 26, 2020, Brody Lee, real name John Huber, died from idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a rare and aggressive lung disease. He was just 41. The wrestling world was stunned. AEW held a full tribute show dedicated entirely to him, the Brody Lee Celebration of Life. They retired his TNT championship. His son was made part of the company's extended family. Eddie Guerrero's return to WWE in 2002 was one of the most emotional moments in wrestling that decade. Finally, one of the most gifted performers had come home, ready to shine. He won the WWE Championship in 2004, delivering unforgettable matches and capturing hearts. His comeback felt like redemption. Then in November 2005, everything collapsed. Eddie was found unconscious in his hotel room in Minneapolis. He died from acute heart failure at age 38. The cause was linked to internal bleeding due to chronic alcohol use, not initial heart problems. WWE's response? A funeral-like episode of Raw the next night. His championship was vacated, and every top star paid tribute inside the ring. But in the following weeks, Eddie's tribute faded fast. Merchandise disappeared. Video packages vanished. His legacy was replaced with new storyline momentum. To many fans, it felt like WWE didn't want to keep looking back at what he represented. A beloved but flawed hero. Umaga, born Edward Fatu, dominated WWE's mid-card from 2006 to 2009. He brought legitimate power and intensity to the ring, with unforgettable matches against Cena, Batista, and others. But it was found that he'd been using painkillers heavily, something WWE was aware of, at least partially. After being released in 2009, Umaga faded but didn't disappear. He continued wrestling independently, signing short deals again with WWE in 2014. Then in December 2009, he collapsed at a house show in Tijuana and died shortly after in a hospital from acute toxicity due to combined drugs and hypertension. He was 36. The tribute on SmackDown was rushed, just a tag team match with a pop-up name reading Reap Umaga. There was no on-air discussion of what happened, no warning labels for performers or fans, and no follow-up on what led to his overdose. Just a short shot to say goodbye. His death was acknowledged, but not truly confronted. Brian Pillman's unpredictable spirit made him one of the most intriguing characters in WCW and later WWE. His loose cannon persona blurred the lines between reality and fiction. By 1997, many wondered what would happen next. On October 5, 1997, Pilman was found dead in his hotel room from a heart condition caused by undiagnosed arteriosclerotic heart disease. He was only 35. WWE was just starting to build its new direction after the Monday Night Wars. Pillman's death was downplayed. There was no tribute segment, no shared memories, no broadcast acknowledgement. Instead, WWE moved on quickly, streaming into new storylines as though nothing had happened. Years later, mentions of Pilman every few years in brief video packages. But for a performer who had changed expectations of realism in wrestling, the lack of initial reverence made longtime fans feel that WWE had erased him too fast. Curt Henig, known as Mr. Perfect, was one of the most technically gifted and charismatic wrestlers of the late 80s and 90s. He had classic matches, standout promos, and still first-call work, even after appearing sporadically in later years. On February 10, 2003, Curt died from acute cocaine toxicity at age 44. He battled addiction in private, and his family had sought help for him. His death was shocking, but not unexpected. WWE aired a short clip of him during a video package, but there was no special tribute on Raw. There was no Hall of Fame induction until 2007, 4 years after his death. No commemorative show, no spotlight, just a brief mention and the show moved on. These aren't just deaths. They're moments where WWE had a choice. Pause and reflect, or hold the camera on the next storyline. In each case, Bray Wyatt, Owen Hart, Brody Lee, Eddie Guerrero, Umaga, Brian Pillman, Curt Henig, WWE chose the latter. The moments were mourned, but the silence that followed left something missing. These 7 wrestlers crafted legacies both on-screen and off. Yet the company's reaction often said more than their final words. That's the truth behind the quiet moments WWE doesn't replay. That's it for today's video. Let us know in the comments which story hit you the hardest, or if there's someone else you feel WWE never truly honored. We read everything. And if you want to keep watching videos that don't shy away from the real side of wrestling, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.